For decades, the global camera industry was locked in a brutal, high-stakes game of segregation. The camera giants created a rigid system that forced visual creators into distinct, compromising categories. If you were a hardcore sports and wildlife photographer who demanded absolute, blinding shutter speeds and zero rolling shutter distortion, you had to sell a kidney to buy a massive, heavy flagship body. If you were a high-end commercial shooter who required immense resolution, you had to buy a completely different slow, studio-centric camera. And if you were a high-dynamic range filmmaker, you had to buy a dedicated cinema rig. You could choose resolution, you could choose speed, or you could choose video integrity. You could never, under any circumstances, have all three in a standard form factor. But the engineering team in Japan looked at this artificial barrier and decided to unleash an absolute weapon of mass disruption. A camera has arrived that doesn't just iterate on the mirrorless concept. It completely collapses the walls separating photography from high-end cinema. The Canon EOS R4. This is not an incremental update or a simple processor refresh. It is a calculated, deeply aggressive display of technological dominance, engineered to deliver the absolute speed of a flagship sports camera, the breathtaking resolution of a studio body, and the uncompromised dynamic range of a Hollywood cinema rig, leaving the rest of the industry completely stranded in the past. To truly appreciate the massive engineering breakthrough the EOS R4 represents, you have to look at the terrifying computational mountain this camera conquers every single microsecond. The heart of the machine is a breathtaking, next-generation back-illuminated stacked CMOS sensor architecture. This is the holy grail of modern imaging design. In traditional camera systems, the electrical circuitry sits directly on top of the light-sensitive pixels, blocking incoming light and slowing down the speed at which visual data can be read from the sensor. By flipping the structure and bonding a hyperfast digital processing layer directly underneath the pixels, the EOS R4 achieves an almost instantaneous sensor readout speed. The real-world implications are absolutely staggering. The dreaded rolling shutter effect, that annoying visual distortion where straight lines look warped or bent during fast horizontal camera pans, is completely, beautifully eliminated. Whether you are panning with a Formula One car racing down a track or capturing the frantic, chaotic wings of a hummingbird in mid-flight, the electronic shutter captures the geometry of the physical scene with absolute, mathematically pristine perfection. This lightning-fast sensor pipeline feeds directly into a highly sophisticated, deeply integrated artificial intelligence co-processing engine. For years, Canon's dual-pixel autofocus was hailed as a benchmark. The EOS R4 elevates this technology into the realm of pure predictive science fiction. The deep learning neural network has been trained on millions of diverse, real-world anatomical profiles, allowing it to accurately read human poses, skeletal structures, and joint movements in real time. If you were shooting a fast-moving athlete whose face was completely turned away from the lens, obscured by a helmet, or hidden behind sports equipment, the camera does not lose focus. It seamlessly reads the shape of the human form, locks onto the head, and tracks the subject with unshakable persistence, waiting with absolute readiness to snap instantly.